The sun rises over Cahokia on a morning in late summer, 1491. Mist clings to the Mississippi floodplain as a woman named Red Bird steps from her house, a structure of bent saplings and woven mats that sits in the shadow of the great central mound. She carries a clay pot to the creek, her feet finding the path without thought. Around her, the city stirs. Smoke drifts from 100 hearths. A dog barks. Somewhere a child cries and is hushed. Red Bird kneels at the water's edge, watching the current pull leaves downstream. Her daughter, barely 7 summers old, should be helping with the morning meal, but the girl has been coughing for days. A wet, rattling sound that keeps the household awake. Red Bird tells herself it will pass. Children cough. They recover. She fills the pot and stands. Above her, the massive earthen pyramid called Monks Mound rises 100 feet into the sky, its flat summit crowned by a temple of cedar posts and thatch. The structure has stood for generations. It will stand for generations more. Red Bird does not know that within a single human lifetime, this city will be empty. She does not know that the world as her people understand it is already ending. Cahokia sits at the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, in the heart of a vast floodplain that stretches farther than a person can walk in a week. The city itself holds perhaps 10,000 people within its core, with another 20,000 scattered across the surrounding countryside in smaller mounds and farming settlements. It is the largest city north of Mexico, a center of trade and ceremony that has drawn people to this place for 3 centuries. The city is built on earth. Over generations, basket by basket, the people have raised more than 100 mounds from the flat ground. Some are platforms for temples and elite residences. Others are conical, their purposes known only to the priests and clan leaders who perform rites upon them. The central plaza can hold thousands during ceremonies, when dancers move in lines and drummers beat rhythms that carry across the river. But Cahokia is not what it was. A century ago, the population may have been twice its current size. The great palisade that once encircled the city's core is falling into disrepair, its wooden posts rotting at the base. Some mounds have been abandoned, their surfaces overgrown with grasses. The reasons are spoken of in whispers: crop failures, floods, conflicts with neighboring peoples, the slow unraveling of old alliances. The priests say the spirits are restless. The chiefs say the city will endure. No one speaks of the greater truth, because no one can see it yet. Across the ocean, in a world Cahokia does not know exists, events are already in motion. Within a year, ships will leave Spanish ports. Within a generation, diseases carried in the breath and blood of strangers will sweep across 2 continents, killing more people than anyone will ever count. But this morning, Red Bird thinks only of her daughter's cough. The sun climbs higher. In the plaza, Red Bird's brother, a man called Stands in Water, helps unload dugout canoes that have come upriver from the south. The boats are heavy with goods, carved shell pendants from the coast, copper from the northern lakes, bundles of tobacco, ceramic vessels painted with spirals and crosses. He and 3 other men haul the cargo onto the bank, their backs slick with sweat despite the morning cool. Stands in Water is neither wealthy nor poor. He owns no slaves. He does not live atop a mound. But he has a strong back and a reputation for fairness, and this earns him respect in the quarter of the city where his family has lived for generations. He trades his labor for maize, for fish, for the right to attend certain ceremonies. A trader from the south, a man with filed teeth and tattoos across his chest, argues with the harbor master about tribute owed to the chief. Stands in Water does not listen. He has heard such arguments before. The old agreements are framed. Chiefs who once sent gifts now demand payment. Trade routes that once connected the city to the far reaches of the continent are closing, one by one. He lifts another bundle and carries it to the storage house. His sister's daughter has been coughing. He heard it last night through the walls. He remembers when a coughing sickness came through the city 5 winters ago. Many children died. Many elders. The bodies were placed on scaffolds outside the palisade, left for the birds and the sky. He tells himself this will be different. By mid-morning, the plaza fills with people. Women spread blankets and arrange goods for trade: dried fish, strings of shell beads, ceramic bowls, baskets woven so tightly they hold water. A group of young men play chunky on the open ground, rolling a stone disc and throwing spears at where they think it will stop. Bets are placed. Insults are exchanged with laughter. Red Bird moves through the crowd with her daughter on her hip. The girl is too heavy to carry comfortably, too sick to walk far. Red Bird stops at a blanket where an old woman sells herbs and remedies. The woman examines the girl's eyes, listens to her breathing, then selects several dried plants from her collection. Boil these in water. Give her the steam to breathe, then the liquid to drink. Red Bird offers a small clay figurine in trade, shaped like a bird. The old woman accepts it without comment. Around them, the city conducts its business. A priest in a feathered cloak climbs the stairs of Monks Mound, heading toward the temple at its summit. A group of warriors returns from a raid to the east, leading captives bound at the wrists. The captives will be adopted into families or sacrificed, depending on the will of the chiefs. A potter kneels beside his kiln, shaping clay with practiced hands. Smoke from cooking fires drifts across the plaza, carrying the smell of roasting maize and fish. This is what the world is. This is what it has always been. Red Bird shifts her daughter to her other hip and starts home. She does not notice the trader from the south watching her. She does not notice how thin he has become, how his eyes shine with fever. He coughs into his hand and continues haggling over copper. Afternoon heat settles over the city. In the fields beyond the mounds, families work the land that feeds Cahokia. The soil here is rich, built up over centuries by the flooding river. Maize grows in ordered rows, the stalks taller than a man. Between them, squash vines spread their broad leaves, and beans climb toward the sun. Stands in Water's wife, Morning Dew, moves through the family plot with a digging stick, loosening soil around the squash plants. Her mother-in-law follows behind, pulling weeds. Two of their children, boys of 10 and 12 summers, carry water from the creek in clay jars. The work is endless. The sun is brutal. Morning Dew pauses to drink and looks toward the city. From here, she can see the tops of the largest mounds rising above the trees. She can see smoke from countless fires. Her grandmother told her stories of when the city was greater still, when the plaza was paved with colored clay and shells, when leaders came from distant lands to witness ceremonies. Those days are fading into memory, but the maize still grows. The river still floods and recedes. Children are still born. This is enough. She returns to her work, driving the stick into the earth with her foot, over and over, until her legs ache and the shadows begin to lengthen. As the sun falls toward the western horizon, Stands in Water sits with other men outside a communal house near the plaza. They share a pipe of tobacco, passing it in silence. The men are tired from the day's labor. Some have come from the fields, others from the river. One is a woodworker who spent the day shaping posts for a new house. They speak of small things. A dispute over fishing rights. A boy who stole maize from a storage house and was beaten by his father. The quality of this year's tobacco crop.
Things are missing.
Then one man mentions the sickness. His cousin's child died 3 days ago. Another family lost an infant. The coughing spreads. It is the season, another man says. Children always sicken when the air grows cold. The air is not cold. It will pass. Stands in Water thinks of his niece, the girl with the rattling cough. He thinks of the trader from the south, the one with fever in his eyes. He says nothing. The pipe makes another circuit. The men fall silent, watching the sky turn red above the river. Night comes gently to Cahokia. Fires glow in doorways and on mountaintops. In Red Bird's house, the family gathers for the evening meal. Her husband, a man called Black Otter, returns from a day of hunting with 2 rabbits and a string of fish. Their oldest son, nearly 15, eats quickly and leaves to join other young men at a fire outside the palisade. Red Bird's daughter lies on a sleeping mat, her breathing labored. Red Bird has boiled the herbs as instructed. She held the girl over the steam, then made her drink the bitter liquid. The child fought and cried. Now she sleeps. her small chest rising and falling in uneven rhythm.
For the family.
She will be well.
We are grateful, Black Otter.
Redbird nods.
Try to breathe slowly, Mija.
She does not believe him. Outside,
we are right
drums
here
begin
with
to
you.
beat. A ceremony is beginning atop one of the mounds, though Redbird does not know which one or for what purpose. The sound carries across the city,
What do we do?
steady and deep, like a heartbeat.
It is good for
She
you,
has
little
heard
one.
these drums all
Just
her
a
life.
bit more.
Her mother heard them. Her grandmother. They are the sound of continuity, of a world that endures. She lies down beside her daughter and listens to the drums and the coughing and tries to sleep. Stands in water, walks through the darkened city. He is restless. His wife and children are asleep, but his mind will not quiet. He passes between houses, avoiding the deeper shadows where dogs might lunge or where men might be drinking and looking for trouble. He reaches the base of Monks Mound and stands looking up at its dark mass against the stars. Somewhere above, in the temple, priests are conducting rites known only to them. He has never been permitted inside that structure. He never will be. There are divisions in this world, lines drawn by birth and status that cannot be crossed. But the city itself belongs to everyone. The plaza where he has traded since childhood. The river where he learned to fish. The earth that holds the bones of his ancestors. He turns and walks back toward his house, past the dying embers of fires, past the sound of a woman singing softly to a child, past the smell of decay that always lingers near the waterfront. The city sleeps. It does not dream of its ending. Within 2 generations, Cahokia will be abandoned. The great mounds will stand empty, slowly eroding under rain and wind. The houses will collapse and rot into the earth. The plaza will be reclaimed by grasses and saplings. The reasons will be debated by the descendants of those who leave: drought, warfare, political collapse, the exhaustion of the soil. But the true catastrophe will not be the city's abandonment. It will be what comes after. In 1492, Christopher Columbus will land on an island in the Caribbean. Within decades, European diseases, smallpox, measles, typhus, influenza, will spread across the Americas faster than the conquistadors and colonists who carry them. Conservative estimates suggest that 90% of the indigenous population will die within a century of contact. Some regions will lose 95%. Entire cultures, languages, and ways of life will vanish so completely that future generations will barely know they existed. Cahokia will be empty before the worst of it arrives. But the children of Cahokia, and their children, and their children's children, will live through the unraveling of their world. They will watch strangers claim their land. They will die of sicknesses that have no name in their languages. They will be told their gods are false, their ceremonies evil, their very existence an obstacle to be removed. Redbird's daughter will survive her cough. She will grow to womanhood, marry, bear children of her own. She will live to see her grandchildren. But she will not live to see the ships. The day Redbird carried water from the creek, neither she nor anyone in Cahokia knew that their world was already ending. They could not have known. They had no reason to believe that anything beyond the horizon could reach them, could change them, could erase them so thoroughly that centuries later, people would walk above their buried city and never know it was there. They woke. They worked. They loved their children. They argued and traded and prayed. They were human, and they believed the world would continue. This account draws from archaeological evidence gathered over decades of excavation at Cahokia and related sites across the Mississippi River Valley. Patterns of daily life are reconstructed from post-molds indicating house structures, food remains showing diet and seasonal activity, and trade goods revealing networks of exchange. Human remains provide evidence of disease, nutrition, and cultural practices. No written records exist from Cahokia itself, though later European accounts of similar indigenous societies offer comparative context. The individuals described here are composites built from this evidence, their lives imagined within the framework of what the physical record reveals about how people lived, worked, and died in pre-Columbian America. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.